All right, everybody. Here we got our new gear pack. Yeah, and so here we have our gear pack. It is June. Yes, we're in this is our June gear pack. We should be looking at number 118. Not sure what it is yet. Another kind of small box, but still better than the last month's was the smallest box I've ever seen. It's a really weird box. Problem solver. Not really, just kind of weird. But let's get into this one here. Let's see what we got this month. At least this month the card doesn't have to be like folded down into there. That card is barely fit. I've been using this cool steel knife we got from Barrel and Blade. It's a pretty good knife. Really sharp, as it's not cutting here. No, it's really sharp. I was trying to figure out how to replace the blade. Oddly at work, and it flew off into the fryer, which was kind of awkward. All right, so this month is 118, Field Ready. All right, so I'm going to read this real fast, and then we're going to get into this here. Oh, I see some pretty cool stuff in there. All right, when comfort disappears, capability matters. Box 118 is built around practical field-ready essentials, fire, maintenance, hygiene, first aid, and dependable cutting tools designed to keep you moving. All right, so with that, let's see what we got here. We're looking at like 1, 2, 3, 5 items plus a sticker. All right, and Gear Pack does have... the Ultimate's actually pretty nice this month, but it has 4 levels, right? You got your basic, which runs you $24.99. Your basic plus, which costs you $44.99, which will get you the basic and the basic plus. Advanced, which costs you $89.99, which will get you the basic plus, and advanced, which is what we subscribe to. And then the Ultimate, which is $129.99, and you get an extra knife. For me, I have enough knives. I have good knives, so I don't need to get, an extra knife every month. I don't need 2, 3, or 4 knives every month. So anyway, we're gonna get into this here. So basically, the basic box, which would cost you $24.99, and this month has an MSRP of $32.98, and it has 2 items in it. All right, so here's the first item, and we have a military canvas first ACE kit. Now it says AIS on the card, but it's first aid kit. So this is pretty cool. All right, let's see if there's anything inside of it. It feels like there is, but it could just be padding, and it could be a little first aid kit, which would be, and it is. It's a little first aid kit, which oddly enough, it also has soap and sugar in there, which it makes sense. It's got your little, this is from Rothko, Veterans Memorial Highway. Okay, brief essentials, position of the victim, airway. It has your little first aid card in there. We'll open that, we'll see what's in there. And then you got your do not eat. But this is a nice small first aid kit. This is good for just to keep your basic essentials. Like if you're out hiking or something, you could throw this in there. You could keep insect repellent, sunscreen, a few Band-Aids, maybe some alcohol prep pads, some small stuff. It does have a belt loop on there, so you could hook that to your belt, unzip it, you're good to go. This MSRP is for $13.99. I think that's a pretty fair price, considering that this canvas feels really nice. The zipper is a good zipper. This is not one of those zippers that's going to break on you. So the canvas makes but it does get caught a little bit on the canvas, but it is a good zipper. It's compact, but I've seen kits this size this size at Walmart for $20 or more. So I think the $14 is not too bad of a price. We'll see what's actually in the kit, but as you can see, it's really smooshy, so there's a lot of room there to add to it. If you fill this thing out, you're going to have a nice little hiking day camp. Hiking, you're out, chopping wood for your fire or something. Just a nice little kit to keep with you. Yeah, I like it. Pretty nice. All right, next up, we have a product from Marshalls, which I believe is this right here. This is pretty cool. We have gotten a similar item. So this is Marshalls Outdoor Field Wax. Field issue. Utility gear maintenance compound. Canvas, leather, zippers, tools. So, and we got some Axe Wax before. This stuff is, I think, really not talked about enough, because this here helps you to maintain your equipment in the field. Super important. You don't want your stuff failing on you when you need it the most. This MSRP is for $18.99. I don't know if the price is that good, but what this will save you in the long run, this is a good item to have. So yeah, so we got our Camp Marshall Outdoors Field Wax. And then that would, the MSRP for these two together is $32.98. And I'm sure if you look this stuff up online, that's about what you're going to find. They're pretty honest about their MSRPs as to what you would pay for it. Sometimes you might find this stuff on sale, but that's going to happen no matter what. All right, next up, that is our Basic Plus, and we got another one of these, another Smith & Wesson. This is the SWA 10 Extreme. The MSRP is for $26.99. Yeah, it's a Smith & Wesson folding knife. $26.99. I don't know. One of my coworkers, he's been looking to see if I had a knife to sell him. I may just sell this to him for $20. I'm not necessarily trying to make a profit, so, but yeah, so that right there. So to get the first aid kit, the field wax, and the folding knife, the SWA 10 Extreme, would cost you $44.99, and the MSRP for all of this is to $59.97. So as you can see, you're about $14 less spending if you were to buy this stuff. That's kind of like one of those warnings on every one of those caveats, if you will, is that the MSRP is what you would pay, but a lot of times it's stuff you're not going to buy. Let's just be honest. All right, anyway. So, next up, we go into our advanced box. Oh, wait. We did get a sticker everyone gets a sticker in the basic box. I like it. They're starting to put out more stickers. I think this is a good look because, a lot of us in the box opening, gear prep type world, we like our stickers for whatever reason. Stickers are cool. But anyway, all right. Anyway, moving on. Our next item is pretty cool, and actually something that, believe it or not, I've been looking into finding. And what we have here is a military field hygiene kit. Now, right, basically it's your canvas hygiene bag, which is, cool. Let's see if there's anything in it. And there is. There actually is stuff in it. You've got a razor, a toothbrush, you got a small stick of deodorant, a washcloth, you've got some shampoo, some cotton balls, some cotton tips, some cotton swabs, a nail file, a comb, some plackers. So you have yourself a nice little hygiene kit there, which is good, and a lot of room inside this bag. And the reason to say that I've been looking, here we go. So you've got your canvas drop bag, 4 cotton balls, 4 cotton swabs, 4 cotton pads, 2 flossers, 4 shampoo packs, 1 deodorant, 1 nail file, 1 razor, 1 toothbrush, 1 toothpaste, 1 bar of soap, 1 microfiber towel, and 1 comb. And this is your FH27 field hygiene kit. And the reason that I say I've been looking for something like this is because one thing that I'm working on right now is I have been watching TA Outdoors and Kit Bash Survival, 2 really great channels on YouTube, and I've been watching them open and review your Rhino Ready, your Uncharted, your Uncharted, your ASE Glide, all these major kits, right? And I've been looking at all the stuff that we've been getting over the years, and I'm like, hey, I can build that kit with what I have. And so, but one of the biggest problems is compartmentability. And so having a bag like this that you can, you can stock, your stuff up in here, put this in your bag, and then you're just pulling out exactly what you need. So I'm kind of looking for like, and then, we got your first aid kit, and then when you pack it in your bag, you're pulling out bags out of a bag, and you know exactly what you're getting. So it's pretty cool. And so we get the military field hygiene kit. MSRP's for $29.99. That might be a little bit pricey, but it's something that, at the end of the day, I was going to end up having to buy something like this, so now I don't have to buy it, and I paid a little bit less than, because obviously this is part of $89.99, and that's already $30 right there that I'm not spending out in town, so I've already saved money. So, I'm not buying additional stuff. But anyway, all right, now the last item in the box, this is pretty cool stuff, and we have Inferno Putty. And this is remove small amount, pull and fluff fibers, ignite with lighter, match or spark, add tinder kindling, fast ignition, water resistant, long burn, emergency ready, all weather fire starter, ready when conditions aren't. And so this is something that is really cool. I mean, basically it's just, it's a lot of cotton infused, a lot of wax, and it's really hard. So, it's pretty cool, but it's made into a putty. You got your cotton fibers, your wax, probably some other type of accelerant. Let's see if there's any ingredients. Burn only on safe surfaces, never leave unattended, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't tell you what's in it. But still, this is something that's really good to add to a fire kit, because you just need a small amount. Dig out a small amount, fluff it up, strike it, and then you can use the natural kindling you got to build up on top of it. And it's small, and you'll get a lot of fires out of this, because if you're smart with this, you get that just enough to get everything else going, and this can last you a long time. And you have a cool tin afterwards that you can like restock. You can like really, you can really pack more cotton balls in here with like Vaseline and wax, so that you can build more of this type of fire putty. So the container is really cool too. So, and that MSRP's for $18.99, which you can argue the price, but the ability to build a fire out in the field is irreplaceable. So I think the $18.99, I would probably pay $18.99 if I saw that. I might try to find one that's a little bit cheaper, but if that was what I had, then I would get it. So, and then if you would have gotten the ultimate, which would be $129, you would get a $45.99, the Camillus Romulus, which I think I've seen that knife, and it's actually not a bad knife. So, but again, I have a Camillus. I've got all kinds of knives. I don't need it. I don't need the extra knife for the month. So just to recap, so you got your Camus first aid kit stocked. You got your Marshall's Outdoor Field Wax. You get your Smith & Wesson SWA 10 Extreme. You get your Military Field Hygiene Kit. And you get your Inferno Hygiene Putty. So, lots of cool stuff. This month, I think, is when you look at the Field Ready, everything that you get in this box, honestly, fits that theme. Especially when you read their little write-up about it. So, I think that this month, this is actually a pretty good gear pack. I wouldn't say it's the best that I've seen, but this is a pretty good, overall, every item in here is pretty cool. Again, I wish, sometimes I like it better when they send something other than a knife, because we all have knives. If you've been doing this, if you're in this type of, world, we have knives. I mean, I've got knives here. I've got boxes of knives. I've got walls of knives. I mean, look, right here, I've got, just here at my desk, knife. I've got a Camillus here. I got a knife. Look, I got a knife. I got a ton of knives. So I don't need knives every month. So sometimes I wish, because when you read up the description, the Basic Plus, it says knife or other tool. And sometimes I wish that they would put just a different tool in there instead of a knife. Because if you think about it, if this came with like some other type of tool in that place, in that Basic Plus box, and then your ultimate is a knife, well, then if you think about it, over the course of the year, I'm getting 12 additional tools that I can use in, camping, survival, whatever type of scenario that you might not have. Like, I really liked it when they sent me the folding knife sharpener. I thought that was a pretty cool item to put into it. Especially, that might have been one of the best boxes overall when I really think about it, because you had maintenance supplies, you had the sharpening supplies, and then your elite box was a knife. And so if you think about that whole theme, that was probably one of the best boxes GearPack has put out. This one is not bad. I'm not at all... I like every item in this box. Yeah, I have a lot of first aid kits, but I like first aid kits anyway. But I really like this one. I like this. I like its compact size. I like that it's canvas. And it's marked very easily. So if you send somebody, hey, get the first aid kit, and they can read it, they can see it right there, first aid kit, and they can grab it. So I like the fact that it's marked. You got tool maintenance, you got fire, you got first aid, you've got health and hygiene, and health and hygiene is not something to forget about in a collapse scenario. Because that's how diseases get spread, is poor hygiene. So to have a health and hygiene kit is very cool. Even in... Well, I'm not going to say that I've neglected it in that kit that I'm building, because along with... And that's why I like this, right? Because along with the stuff that, like, those other kits have, like, like the Rhino Ready or the Uncharted Supply and all that, I go through that and I think, okay, what's missing? And you look at other kits... And what I've done is I've listed the items in this one, and, and I'm crossing off all of the duplication, and then seeing what is unique to each kit, and then incorporating that into mine. And I think that's a really good way to, if you want to build your own kit, that's a really good way to do it, and that's what we're going to be doing later on here. But again, this stuff here is going to go a long way with that. But yeah. Of course, I've been with them so long that I get, like, Gearbucks. You stay a subscriber, they reward you. Another reason why I like and I stay with GearPack. Because when they do put out good boxes, they put out good boxes. When they put out weird boxes, they put out, like, why am I getting this boxes? But I think that overall, especially the last year or so, GearPack has really been stepping their game up. But that is it. That is GearPack 118. Field ready. Hope you liked it. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Again, I think we're almost up to 500. And at 500, I am going to do that giveaway. So we're almost there. So if you want to be part of a giveaway, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you like this video, comment on it, share it out to all your friends. And until next time, keep prepping.